Well, it's a dangerous business, Frodo, going out your door. You step onto the road, and if you don't keep your feet, there's no telling where you might be swept off to. That was Tolkien's advice to a hobbit. Humorous, more than a little bit true. Well, it's summer, a big holiday week full of travel, family vacation, and some glorious fireworks. I'm sure everyone here has been working on their travel plans and having some adventures already. I remember some of those big family vacation trips growing up. Luggage stacked high on the car, the seats filled with my siblings, mom and dad up in front, and traveling across the country, guided by one of those triptych sets of maps. Oh, no GPS for us. We knew how many pages of those maps we could drive across in a day, and Dad had called ahead to make hotel reservations for each night. No cell phones either. Then, the unexpected happened partway through our trip. There was not a page for Utah. So, in adding up the mileage for the next day's drive, the time to our next stop was underestimated a little bit, by about 1 state's worth. It was going to take far longer than we'd planned to reach our day's goal. Naturally, we kids were upset at spending so much time strapped into our seats in the car. We were children, impatient, not given to understanding. These unexpected complications that life can throw at us, oh dear. We were impatient as we entered Utah. We were very impatient as we drove past Echo Lake. We didn't notice when we drove past Mount Ayr and Grandeur Peak. We barely paid attention to Salt Lake City. And driving along the shore of the Great Salt Lake and across the Bonneville Salt Flats meant nothing to us. We were focused only on that destination, a nondescript hotel in the middle of Nevada. Now, our trip was planned out in detail, and this unexpected turn of events was not going to derail our plans. Oh no. Through sheer brute force and endurance, we ignored all that we passed that wasn't on our predetermined agenda and arrived at that hotel exhausted and hungry. But once again, we were on schedule. We were where the plan called for us to be that day, precisely in the middle of nowhere. We kept our feet and were not swept off. Now, in retrospect, sticking to our plan in spite of everything might not have been the best move. By pushing on, we ignored an opportunity to see and explore places we had never been and were unlikely to return to for years, if ever. Oops. Well, there's an old Yiddish adage that translates as, man plans and God laughs. It's true. Despite our most careful planning, the universe has a way of tripping us up, defeating our finest strategies with unexpected new vistas to explore and unforeseen roadblocks, sometimes in the same package. Oh, we try our best to minimize the chance of bad stuff happening. We plan and plan some more to make sure we keep those schedules, reach our pre-planned destinations, and avoid upsetting surprises. Yet, in spite of all this effort, well, hello, universe. I see you've left your calling card in my carefully crafted plan again. As with all things, though, This too shall pass. We may be upset or have some terrible feelings. Ooh, some of those words. But we can gather our thoughts, bring our strengths to bear, and overcome our obstacles. We may adjust our plans, tinker with our schedules, and perhaps recognize new opportunities within this disruption that we can gather, turn those upset feelings into joy. Now, there's a term in physics that describes how well a material can absorb energy by deforming and then release that energy by springing back to its original form. This is called resilience. This is different than strength. Now, strength is a measure of ability to withstand an applied stress without failure. We don't want failure. We want to bounce back. Resilience is also a measure of how well we can deal with and recover from adverse or unexpected events in our lives. Jaime Cascio, a local author and futurist, writes, "Resilience is all about being able to overcome the unexpected. Sustainability is more survival. The goal of resilience is to thrive." So resiliency isn't just survival, nor is it stubborn persistence. Resiliency asks us to look at what's troubling us and that we respond, a sort of feedback process. Resiliency lets us continue living and thriving in the midst of adversity. A good skill. Taking that disruption, figuring out what it means to us, and processing it in a way that lets us grow. In strength, without resilience, there's no feedback. There's no growth. Exceed the limits of that strength, and failure results. Pure strength is not adaptive. Facing reality and finding meaning in it is at the core of building resilience. We can find the courage and the flexibility to deal with risk and adversity only if we face reality with some appropriate tools. A wonderful book on all this is titled Resilience: Why Things Bounce Back by Andrew Zolli and Anne-Marie Healy. The authors define resilience as the capacity of a system, enterprise, or a person to maintain its core purpose and integrity in the face of dramatically changing circumstances. The most resilient systems, according to the author, can reconfigure themselves continuously and fluidly to adapt to ever-changing circumstances while continuing to fulfill our purpose, that core purpose. A resilient system senses its circumstances continuously and feeds that information back to control actions. What's called a tight feedback system. I'm a nerd, I admit it. A resilient system is diversified. Multiple sources of required supplies and modular structure, ways to handle things that allows for quick reconfiguration and adaptation. Now, there's a dear friend of mine who actually embraces the unexpected. She doesn't care to plan, but often takes off on extended road trips with just the direction in mind. She takes whatever roads look interesting and stops where she feels the need. She generally heads in the direction of friends or acquaintances she feels like visiting, and is quite happy to sleep on a couch or even in her truck pulled into a safe driveway. Now, roads in the right general direction are easily found, and sleeping accommodations, whether a car seat, a couch, or a guest room, are readily adjusted for in her plans. Her approach to these road trips shows remarkable resilience, and she comes through these travels refreshed happier, and more energized than when she left. Oh, she may be physically exhausted at the end of her travels, but her state of mind seems better than ever to me. Now, when she was here for a visit with me, she invited me to join her on the road. I thought about appointments I had, meetings I had coming up, various other tasks, places I had to be, so I declined the offer. It was unexpected. It would have been disruptive to my life. Well, I was being stubborn, strong in that good old rugged individualist sense, and refusing to even consider altering my plans. I was not particularly resilient. Now, afterwards, I mentioned this to a few friends, and they unanimously said, I should have gotten in that truck. I should have gone with her when she left. Now, I can learn to be flexible. I can learn to adjust my plans and schedules. I can learn to become more resilient. So, should I get in the truck with her the next time she leaves? Yes, of course I should. And I'm glad folks agree with that. Now, this resiliency isn't just a property of individuals. Resilience can be found and cultivated in groups. Resilience in a family or a community is something that relies on our trust and cooperation and the ability to collaborate, work together between people to handle these unexpected obstacles or opportunities. People together build networks of collaboration, cooperative approaches that are more resilient. Now, developing that trust and cooperation is a change of mindset for many of us. Isn't it nice then that we have such flexible minds that can learn new patterns of thought and new ways to work together? Now, regularly introducing diversity plays a part in this. A more diverse membership here, for example, provides a more diverse range of life experiences, perspectives, and wisdom. That's more tools for us. Adding more of all kinds of diversity improves the resilience, the tools we have, and so the health of our community. Now, we can see that human resilience, unlike metallurgy, has several characteristics. Those tight feedback loops that let us alter our actions when confronted with obstacles or opportunities. Diversified sources, diversity in our community, to keep us going. New habits of mind, ways of thinking about things, open to trust, cooperation, and collaboration. Increasing our diversity to provide a wider range of life experiences. That redundancy, multiple systems, perspectives, and wisdom that we gain. Now, ours is a faith of hope, of questions, of diversity, of beliefs and perspectives. We are focused on the journey and not the destination. We welcome change and are open to new learnings and insights. And we share authority and find wisdom. Ours is a faith of resilience. None of this comes easily or automatically, though. I'll leave you with the final paragraphs from Zoli's book on resilience. Resilience must be continuously refreshed and recommitted to. Every effort at resilience buys us not certainty, but another day, another chance. Every day is day one. Thank you.